that I'm going to cut off. So I'm going to cut this and get rid of all of the rind. And the other one is, if the rind looks shiny, it's probably not as ripe. The rind is dull. The dullness of the rind is another test that it's ripe watermelon. So those are a few things that you can do. So then I'm just going to cut off this butt end here. And like I said, there's many ways to cut a watermelon. And then I'm going to take the rind off. Now then I can use some of this rind to make my pickling. So I want to try and keep it close to the flesh without getting into the flesh. The other one that comes up when it comes to watermelon is seeded or seedless. So this one I think is a choice that you can make. So from my understanding, the seedless watermelon doesn't mean that it's GMO. What it really means is that it's an actual hybrid that put together, and so it's not that it is a GMO. There are watermelon connoisseurs who would say that watermelon that's seeded tastes better. I have a seedless watermelon, and my dog is like, please give me some, please give me some. And I like the seedless one just because I don't have to cut the seeds, but you can eat the seeds of a seeded watermelon. It actually, like everything else, has nutrients in it. So you could eat the seeds. And I'm not going to take all of this, but what I'm going to do, my little liquid is almost coming to a boil. So I can let that simmer for about 5 minutes here. I'm going to do that, just turn it down a bit. And I'm going to take, here's my little container. I'm going to put some of the rind in here. So you could cube the rind. I did some strips. And then you probably I want to take one that doesn't have too much of the red on it, the flesh, and just cut it up. And I can do either a strip or I can cut it into a cube. I could cut it up however you want. Pop it into my little container here. This one is great too. I'll do this one. Just chop it up. And you could eat this rind just the way it is if you like. I don't know if, like I said, did anybody eat it? Eat a rind there. And that's enough.
No, don't eat it.
Okay, so this is a way that you could potentially eat the rind.
Yeah. Some people like to juice it as well.
Yes, absolutely. Juicing the rind is beautiful. That's great. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this half a watermelon in half, so I have the quarter. And I have a feeling I'm just going to pop, tricky here, just going to pop this half over because I'm not going to use it right now. I'll cut it up later. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this for watermelon bacon, and the rest of it I'm going to just cube, and that's it. So for watermelon bacon, you want to slice it about between 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch. So 1/4 inch will be thinner slices. 1/2 inch will give you more like a jerky. And by the way, so I'm going to do around a quarter, I don't know, this is around, it's like around a centimeter. I guess it's around, and you can see I'm cutting that. I'm just going to do a couple. Maybe I'll just do a couple of slices. And then I'm going to make them into like bacon slices. So I'm just going to do a couple of slices. And there's my bacon strips. And I'm going to put them into a glass container to marinate them. So I got those two. This one's a little long. I might cut off the end. Oh, it broke anyway. And it's okay. You can do little chunks. Doesn't have to be whole. And then I'm just going to take the rest of this, cut it up. And again, I'm going to do a couple of bacon chunks here. And take those slices, put them here so I can marinate them. I'll put that to the side for a second while I then, so then what I do is I just going to cut the rest of this into cubes. And then that's how we eat them. You could just cut them into the little wedges if you want to, or you can keep the rind on and cut them in wedges and the rind becomes a nice handle, but I'm just going to cut it into roughly even slices. And then I'll just take 3, put this in here. This is for my watermelon. And then just make the cubes this way. And just kind of go both ways. And that's the easy way to make watermelon cubes. And then I just put this in the fridge and literally my kids devour it. But it has to be cut or nobody's gonna cut it. We gotta cut it ourselves. It'll go. All right. Once I cut it up, like I said, it goes like hotcakes, especially if it's a ripe one. So that's it. That's how you cut your watermelon. All right. I have my watermelon rind. And I have my liquid that's, I just stir it up that I boiled here. So all I'm going to do is pour some of this. I can smell the spices and the acid from the apple cider vinegar. I'm just going to pour that into my glass container. I got some leftovers.